Have you ever felt that God has been preparing you for something, but you still don't know what it is? What if the reason you stopped on this video today isn't random? And what if, before this day comes to an end, God wants to place something in your hands that has your name on it? My beloved child, before you continue watching, I want you to imagine something. Picture an ancient envelope, not an ordinary envelope, one sealed with a golden mark that no human hand could create. It has been waiting, not for years, not for months, but for the exact moment your heart became ready. What if I told you that this envelope doesn't contain fear? It doesn't contain punishment. It doesn't contain bad news. It contains a truth that heaven has protected until today, a truth that could completely change the way you see your prayers, your waiting, your disappointments, and even the closed doors that once made you question my presence, my beloved child. Many people spend their entire lives asking me for answers. Some ask for miracles, some ask for healing, others ask why I remained silent. But very few stop long enough to prepare their hearts before receiving the answer, because an answer without a prepared heart often becomes a missed blessing. That is why I brought you here today, not by accident, not because the algorithm suggested this video, but because there is something your spirit needs to hear before you take your next step. Imagine that glowing envelope resting quietly before you. Your name is written on it. You can see the golden seal shining with a light unlike anything this world can produce. You reach out your hand, but just before you touch it, you hear my voice. My beloved child, don't open it yet, because before you receive what is inside, there is something I must prepare within you first. The greatest blessings I give are never rushed. The greatest revelations are never forced. Everything I do has perfect timing, and perhaps the waiting that has frustrated you wasn't my absence. Perhaps it was my protection. How many times did you believe I had forgotten you, when in reality I was protecting you from opening a door too early? How many times did you think I said no, when I was actually saying, not yet, my child. Today I want you to see your story differently. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, every unexpected goodbye, every door that closed was quietly shaping your heart for the moment that is now approaching. That envelope before you is more than a message. It represents every promise I made that is still alive, every prayer you whispered through tears, every night you wondered if anyone was listening. I heard every word, I counted every tear, and I never stopped working even when you couldn't see my hand moving. So before we open what has been waiting for you, I ask only one thing. Don't listen with fear, don't listen with doubt. Listen with expectation, because what I am about to reveal is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you, and preparation has always been the first step before every miracle I have ever placed in the hands of my children. My beloved child, stay with me for a little longer. Do not rush this moment. The world has taught you that everything valuable must happen quickly. It tells you to chase instant answers, instant success, and instant peace. But my kingdom has never worked that way. The greatest gifts I prepare are never placed into unprepared hands. Look once more at the envelope before you. Its golden seal has remained untouched. Not because I wanted to keep something from you, but because I wanted to protect what was meant for you. There are moments when people pray for an answer, yet they are not ready to carry the responsibility that comes with it. So I wait, not because I enjoy your waiting, but because I love you enough to prepare you first. My beloved child, have you noticed how much you have changed? A year ago, you would have reacted differently. A year ago, certain words would have broken your heart. Certain disappointments would have stolen your faith. Certain people would have controlled your emotions. But look at you. Now, even through tears, even through unanswered questions, you are still searching for me. You are still praying. You are still hoping. That is not weakness. That is evidence that I have been shaping Your heart all along, every difficult season carried a lesson, every delay carried wisdom, every closed door redirected your steps toward something you could not yet see. You thought I was taking things away from you, but I was making room for something greater. Now imagine yourself holding that envelope. You can feel its weight. It is heavier than you expected, not because it is filled with many pages, but because it carries the weight of promises. Promises spoken long before your greatest struggle. Promises that were never cancelled. Promises that heaven has been faithfully guarding. My beloved child, some of my answers arrive as blessings. Some arrive as opportunities. Some arrive as unexpected changes. And sometimes my answer begins with a truth you were not expecting to hear, not because I want to hurt you, but because truth is the doorway to freedom. You have asked me many questions. Lord, why did that relationship end? Why did that opportunity disappear? Why have I waited so long? You believed those moments were the end of your story, but I saw every chapter before it was written. I knew which roads would lead you away from your purpose. I knew which voices would distract you. I knew which doors looked beautiful on the outside but hid disappointment behind them. So I closed them, not to punish you, but to protect your future. My beloved child, there is something inside this letter that requires trust more than understanding. If you wait until everything makes sense before following me, you may remain standing at the same place forever. Faith has never been about seeing every step. Faith begins when you trust the one who already sees the destination. That is why I ask you today, do not focus on the sealed envelope. Focus on the hands that prepared it, the same hands that carried you through nights when no one knew your pain, the same hands that strengthened you when you felt like giving up, the same hands that never released their hold on your life, even when you questioned whether I was still near. My beloved child, you are closer than you realize, closer to healing, closer to restoration, closer to the answer you have whispered through countless prayers. But before the seal is broken, before the message is revealed, there is one more truth your heart must understand, because once you discover what I have written for you, you will never look at your past the same way again. My beloved child, take another look at the letter. Do you notice something different? The golden seal has not been completely broken, but it is no longer as firm as it was before. Why? Because something has changed, not the letter. You. Every moment you have spent listening until now has been preparing your heart. And that is exactly what I desired. Not simply to give you an answer, but to transform the person who receives it. Many people ask me to change their circumstances. Few ask me to change their hearts. Yet a transformed heart can walk through any circumstance without losing hope. My beloved child, there were seasons when you believed I was far away. You searched for my voice in the middle of silence. You wondered why everyone else seemed to move forward while you remained standing still. You compared your journey to theirs. You questioned your purpose. You questioned your timing. Sometimes you even questioned whether I was still listening. But I was closer than your next breath. While you were waiting for a miracle, I was building one inside you. The patience you learned, the compassion that grew within you, the strength you discovered after every disappointment. Those were not accidents. They were pieces of the miracle you prayed for. Now let me ask you something. If I had answered your prayer the very first day you asked, would you have become the person you are today? Would your faith have grown deeper? Would your heart have learned to trust me when nothing around you made sense? Sometimes the greatest blessing is not receiving an immediate answer. Sometimes the greatest blessing is becoming the person who can faithfully carry that answer. My beloved child, there is a reason this letter has your name written on it. No one else can open it for you. No one else can live your calling. No one else can walk the path I designed before you were born. People may advise you. They may encourage you. Some may even doubt you, but they cannot replace the purpose I placed inside you. That purpose has always belonged to you. And today, you stand closer than ever to understanding why every chapter of your life unfolded the way it did. The tears were not wasted. The lonely nights were not forgotten. The prayers whispered when no one else was listening were carefully gathered before me. Not one of them disappeared. Not one of them was ignored. My beloved child. The enemy wanted you to believe that your story ended with disappointment. I was writing another chapter, one you could not yet see. Every closed door protected you from a path that was never meant to become your future. Every unexpected delay gave my perfect timing room to work. Every goodbye created space for something that could never have entered your life otherwise. That is why I tell you again, do not measure my faithfulness by the speed of your circumstances. Measure it by the peace that has quietly remained inside you, even when everything around you seemed uncertain. That peace did not come from the world. It came from me, and it has been preparing you for this very moment. Now, the seal begins to glow. A warm, golden light shines through its edges. The letter has not fully opened yet, but you can sense that the moment is drawing near. Your heart beats with expectation, not because you know what is written inside, but because you have begun to trust the one who wrote it. And, my beloved child, what comes next is not merely information. It is a reminder of a promise I made long ago, a promise that has never been forgotten and has never failed. So stay with me. The letter is about to open, and the first words you are about to read will change the way you understand every prayer you have ever whispered. My beloved child, the moment has come. The golden seal slowly begins to soften, not with force, not with haste, but with perfect timing. As the seal gently breaks, a warm light shines from within the letter, not a light that blinds your eyes, but one that reaches your heart. You hold your breath. For so long you wondered what was inside. For so long you imagined every possible answer. But now the waiting is over. You slowly unfold the first page. Before you can read another word, your eyes stop on the very first sentence. My beloved child, I never left you. For a moment, everything becomes still. Those 5 words answer questions you have carried for years, questions you never spoke aloud, questions hidden behind every smile, questions whispered into the silence of lonely nights. How many times did you believe I had abandoned you? How many times did you mistake my silence for my absence? But silence was never abandonment. Silence was preparation. Even when you could not hear my voice, I was arranging what you could not yet see. Even when doors closed without explanation, I was protecting the future you prayed for. Even when people walked away, I remained beside you, my beloved child. Read the next line carefully. Everything that happened was preparing you for this season. Not some things, not most things, everything. The victories, the failures, the delays, the disappointments, the unexpected changes, even the prayers that seemed unanswered. None of them were meaningless. Each moment shaped your character. Each season strengthened your faith. Each tear watered the ground where your future would one day grow. You often asked, Lord, why did you allow this? Today I ask you another question. What if the very thing that almost broke you actually built the strength you needed for the blessing now standing before you? Think about the person you were before the storm. Now, think about the person you have become. You are wiser, more compassionate, more patient, more dependent upon me. Those changes did not happen by accident. They were written into your journey long before you understood their purpose. My beloved child, the letter is not simply revealing answers. It is revealing my heart, a heart that has never stopped pursuing you, a heart that has remained faithful. Even during the seasons when your own faith felt weak, I never expected perfection from you. I asked only that you keep walking one prayer at a time, one day at a time, one small step of faith at a time. And you did, even when you felt exhausted, even when you questioned yourself, even when nobody else understood what you were. Carrying, you kept moving, you kept believing, you kept returning to me. That is why you are here today, not because you earned this moment, but because my grace carried you to it. As you continue reading, another sentence appears on the page. Do not be afraid of what comes next. Your heart pauses again, because fear has quietly followed you for a long time. Fear of another disappointment, fear of another closed door, fear of hoping again, but fear has never written your future. I have, my beloved child. There are chapters ahead that you cannot imagine yet. There are conversations I am already arranging. There are opportunities already moving toward you. There are prayers already being answered in ways you cannot yet recognize. Do not let yesterday's disappointments convince you that tomorrow cannot be different. The future is not being written by your fears. It is being guided by my faithfulness. So, keep reading. The next page of the letter has not yet been turned, and what waits? There is not simply another promise. It is the reason I asked you from the very beginning to prepare your heart before opening this letter. My beloved child, slowly, gently, turn the next page. Do not hurry. Some words are too precious to be rushed. As the page unfolds, the light from the letter grows even brighter. It is no longer shining only around the pages. It begins to illuminate everything around you. Not because the letter has changed, but because your understanding has. You look down and read the next sentence. I have already gone before you. Pause for a moment. Let those words settle deep within your heart. How many times have you worried about tomorrow? How many nights have you stayed awake trying to solve problems that only I could solve? You searched for certainty. You searched for control. You searched for guarantees. Yet all along I was asking you for one simple thing: trust. Not because you can see every step, but because I already can. My beloved child, you often believe your story is moving into the unknown. But nothing about your future is unknown to me. Before you faced your greatest battle, I was already preparing the strength you would need. Before the opportunity appeared, I was already arranging the right timing. Before someone walked into your life, I already knew whether they would become a blessing or a lesson. Nothing has ever surprised me. Not your tears, not your questions, not your waiting. I have seen every page of your journey from the very beginning. That is why I ask you today. Stop carrying burdens that were never meant to rest on your shoulders. Some battles are won through effort, but others are won through surrender. Not surrender to fear. Surrender to my guidance, my beloved child. As you continue reading, another line appears. The answer you were asking for is not far away. You read it again, then once more. Not far away. How often have you believed your breakthrough was years away, when it was actually much closer than you imagined? The enemy wants you to believe you have missed your moment. He wants you to believe it is too late, that your mistakes have permanently changed your future. But listen carefully. I do not write stories of hopeless endings. I write stories of redemption, of restoration, of new beginnings. Every chapter that looked finished in your eyes was only the place where I planned to begin something greater. Remember the seasons when nothing seemed to move, when every prayer felt like it disappeared into silence. You thought heaven had become quiet. Yet behind that silence, I was arranging details you could not see. Conversations, opportunities, protection, direction. Even people you have not yet met. Nothing has been standing still. Everything has been moving according to my perfect timing. My beloved child. One final sentence catches your attention on this page. It is written more boldly than the rest. Do not let fear close what faith is about to open. Read those words again. Fear has kept many people standing outside doors I had already unlocked for them. Not because the door was closed, but because they were afraid to walk through it. Do not make the same mistake. I did not prepare your heart so you could return to doubt. I prepared your heart so you could walk forward with confidence. You may not understand every detail today. You may still have unanswered questions, but you no longer walk alone. The one who wrote this letter also walks beside you, and that changes everything. Now, there is only one page left, the final page. It carries the message I have been leading you toward from the very beginning. The words on that page are unlike anything you expected, and before you read them, take one deep breath, because what comes next is not simply a promise for your future. It is an invitation to step into it. My beloved child, the final page now rests before you. You hesitate for a moment, not because you are afraid, but because you realize that once you read these words, you will never be the same again. The journey that brought you here, the waiting, the questions, the disappointments, the silent prayers, they have all led to this very moment. You gently lift the last page. The light surrounding the letter becomes brighter than ever before. Yet strangely, it feels peaceful. It doesn't overwhelm you. It comforts you. It reminds you of every moment I quietly carried you when you thought you had to carry yourself. As your eyes move across the page, you read the first sentence. My beloved child, I chose you long before you chose me. You stop reading. Those words settle deep within your soul all this time. You believed you were searching for me, but the truth is, I was searching for your heart long before you ever called my name, before your first prayer. I knew your voice, before your first tear. I saw your pain. Before your first victory, I had already prepared grace for your failures. Nothing about your life has ever been unknown to me. Not one chapter, not one disappointment, not one silent battle. My beloved child, there were days when you believed your story had lost its purpose. You compared your journey to others. You watched people move ahead while you wondered why your own path seemed slower. You questioned your timing. Sometimes you even questioned your value. But I never did. While the world measured you by results, I was shaping your character. While people noticed your delays, I was preparing your destiny. While others only saw your present, I could already see the beautiful future that was slowly unfolding before you. That future has never depended on luck. It has always rested in my hands. As you continue reading, another sentence appears. Stop carrying yesterday into tomorrow. How much energy have you spent reliving old mistakes? How many nights have you replayed conversations that cannot be changed? How many times have you allowed regret to steal the peace I was trying to give you? My beloved child, regret cannot rewrite your past, but my mercy can transform your future. Do not allow old wounds to become permanent chains. I did not bring you this far to leave you trapped in memories. I brought you here so you could walk forward in freedom. Look again at the letter. The pages that once seemed mysterious now feel familiar, not because every question has been answered, but because your heart has finally learned where true peace comes from. Peace is not found in having every detail explained. Peace is found in trusting the one who already knows every detail. That is why your heart feels lighter now, not because every problem has disappeared, but because you no longer believe you must face them alone. My beloved child, there is one final paragraph remaining. It is written in letters brighter than gold. As you begin to read, you realize this is not only my promise to you, it is also my invitation. An invitation to stop living as someone defeated by fear and begin living as someone strengthened by hope. Not because life will never be difficult again, but because you now know who walks beside you through every difficult season. The letter slowly begins to close, not because my voice has become silent, but because my words are no longer written only on these pages. They have been written upon your heart, and wherever you go from this moment forward, carry this truth with you. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not walking without purpose. The story you thought was ending has only been preparing you for the beginning I have already written. So lift your eyes, take the next step with courage, walk forward with faith, because, my beloved child, the greatest chapter of your journey is no longer waiting inside the letter. It is waiting for you to live it. My beloved child, the letter is now complete. The final page rests gently in your hands. For a few moments, you do not speak, you simply breathe. Everything you have read has filled your heart with a peace you have not felt in a very long time. The fears that once shouted so loudly now seem strangely quiet. The questions that once kept you awake at night no longer feel as heavy, not because every mystery has been explained, but because you have remembered who has been holding your future all along. As you slowly lower the letter, you notice something remarkable. The golden words that were written on the pages begin to disappear. At first, it surprises you. You wonder why the message is fading. Then my voice gently speaks once again. My beloved child, the words are not disappearing. They are becoming part of you. Every promise, every reminder, every truth you have just read is no longer meant to remain on paper. It is meant to live inside your heart, because a letter can inspire you for a moment, but my word is meant to guide you for a lifetime. My beloved child, there is one final truth I want you to carry from this day forward. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to trust me. Trust me now. Do not wait until every door opens. Trust me while some doors are still closed. Do not wait until every prayer is answered. Trust me while you are still praying. Do not wait until every fear disappears. Trust me even while your heart is learning to be brave. Because faith has never been the absence of uncertainty. Faith is choosing to walk with me, even when you cannot yet see the entire road. Remember the envelope that first caught your attention. You believed it contained the greatest treasure, but now you understand something far more beautiful. The treasure was never the envelope. The treasure was my presence. The greatest gift I could ever give you was never wealth. Never success, never recognition. It has always been the assurance that you will never walk alone, my beloved child. There will still be days when life feels difficult. There will still be moments when answers seem delayed. There will still be seasons that test your patience. But when those moments come, remember this letter, remember this conversation. Remember that I have never failed you, even in the seasons when you believed nothing was happening. I was working quietly behind every unseen detail, even when people misunderstood you. I understood you completely. Even when others walked away, I remained beside you, and I always will. Now I ask you to do something simple. Close your eyes for just a moment. Take one slow breath. Release every fear you have been carrying. Release every disappointment you have refused to let go. Release every burden you were never meant to carry alone. Place it into my hands. That is where it belongs. Because, my beloved child, you were never created to live under the weight of fear. You were created to walk in hope. You were created to live with purpose. You were created to become a light in places where others have forgotten that hope still exists. So when you leave this moment, do not leave with fear. Leave with peace. Do not leave wondering whether I am with you. Leave knowing that I have been with you from the very beginning, and I will remain with you through every chapter that is still to come. One day, you will look back on every delay, every unanswered prayer, every closed door, every tear, and you will finally understand why I asked you at the very beginning of this journey. My beloved child, prepare your heart for what I'm about to reveal, because the greatest revelation was never hidden inside the letter. The greatest revelation was that I have been faithfully writing your story with love, purpose, and perfect timing all along. So walk forward with confidence, walk forward with faith, walk forward knowing that your story is not ending here. In many ways, it is only just beginning. May my peace guard your heart, my wisdom guide your steps, and my unfailing love remain with you always. Amen.